Welcome to this 15-minute flow and stretch. Let's get started. Come into child's pose. Big toes together, knees to the outer side of your mat, and bring your forehead to the floor. Breathing deep into your belly so it fills the space in between your thighs. Come up onto all fours. Bring the shoulders over the wrist and the hips over top the knees. Inhale, look up, dropping the belly. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, look up. Exhale, rounding the spine. Do this a couple more times at your own pace, awakening the spine. Come back to neutral. Extending the right arm out and the left leg back. Bring it up and balance. Using your core strength to hold you up. And breathe. Holding for a few moments, flexing the back foot to help you balance. Come back to center. Now the other side. Right leg back, left hand forward, and lift. Flexing the back foot. Release, come back down to your mat. Okay, again, we're going to bring the right arm forward, left leg back. This time, bend the knee, reach back, and grab the ankle. Using your core strength to balance. If this is not available to you, just lift the back leg and the arm. Make sure you're breathing. Release, come back to center, and now to the other side. Bending the knee and reaching back and grabbing that ankle. Hold for as long as you like. Release the ankle and come back down to the mat. Next, go back into child's pose. Then look up and push through down into baby cobra, up into upward facing dog. Rounding the spine, coming back into child's pose and pushing through to baby cobra, up into upward facing dog. Do this a couple more times. Child's pose, slink through to baby cobra and up to upward facing dog. Make sure you're breathing through the movement. Come back into child's pose. Come to all fours, tuck the toes, push back into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Walk the dog, bending the knees, wiggling the hips. Just get comfortable and stretch it out. Inhale, lift the right leg to the sky, bend the knee using your intercostal strength, bring it between the hands, and bounce up into warrior one. Your back foot is on a 45-degree angle. And breathe. Make sure that the knee doesn't come over the ankle. Open up into warrior two. The back foot is coming to a 90 degrees and your right leg is not coming over your ankle. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat. Step back into high plank. Come to low plank, lowering the knees if you have to, or staying up. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, shift back into downward facing dog. Walk it out. Inhale the left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, bring it in between your hands. Bounce up into warrior one. Breathe here. And when you're ready, open up to warrior two. Stepping the foot back if you need to, adjusting as you go, making sure the front knee doesn't come over the ankle. Your gaze is over the front arm, your left fingertips. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat, stepping back, coming into a high plank or bending the knees, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sending the heels down. Don't worry if they don't get there. Bend the knees, come down into a child's pose, keeping the toes tucked to give the feet a nice stretch. This is one of my favorites. It feels really, really good for the feet. Come on to all fours. Next, inhale one of your arms up to the sky and slink it through underneath. Bring the forehead down to the mat and just relax. If it's available to you, take the other arm and extend it behind you, reaching for your thigh. Come back to center. Extend the opposite arm up into the sky, slink it down through, bringing the forehead to the mat, and the opposite arm comes reach behind and grabs the thigh. Feeling the stretch. Release, come back to center. Finding your way back onto your bum. Bring the palms of your feet together, coming into a seated butterfly. Leaning forward if you like, if that feels available to you. If not, stay where you are and just feeling the stretch. Then extend the legs out front, coming up into a boat pose, lifting the legs, extending the arms forward into high boat. Come down into low boat. Using your core strength, come back up into high boat, then to low. Do this a couple more times. Dropping the feet to your mat, roll your spine down, coming onto your back. Keeping your knees bent, bring your heels closer to your bottom. Going to come into a bridge. lifting the hips to the sky, clasping the hands underneath and walking the shoulders underneath you, pushing up into a bridge. And hold. Make sure you're breathing. Then release back down to the mat. Prepare for the next bridge, lifting the hips to the sky, walk the hands and shoulders underneath and push up. Remember to breathe. Release back down. We're going to do this one more time. If you'd like a little bit of a challenge, we're going to come into wheel pose. So place the hands on either side of your head, and when you're ready, push up. If this pose is not available to you yet, or this is something you're working towards, stay into bridge pose like the two before. Stay up as long as you need to, and when ready, come down back to the mat, pushing the spine down to the ground and feeling the release. Now, bring the knees into the chest and roll along the spine. And roll all the way up into a seated position. Extend the left leg out, bringing the right foot into the inner thigh. Put your right hand behind you and swoop your left hand back, coming into Wild Thing with the knee to floor variation. And feel this heart opener. Come back down, switch sides. Right leg goes out and left foot comes to your thigh. And swooping back. Release, come back to the ground. In seated pose, bring the palms of the feet together and recline all the way back into reclined butterfly. Your left hand bring to your heart and your right hand over your stomach. Now breathe into your hands. Let your knees fall out and feel the stretch in your hips. Now extend the legs out away from your body, and your hands can drop to either side, coming into Shavasana, allowing your spine to fully fall into the earth and feeling very heavy as your body sinks into your mat. Take a few deep breaths, closing the eyes, and just being still. Slowly bring awareness back into your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, roll onto one side. And just stay here for a moment. Keeping your eyes closed, push up into a seated position. Inhaling the arms up above your head, bringing the palms together, down to forehead center. The light within me honors the light within you. Bringing your hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in the stretch and flow, and I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, and week.